just one twin flame?
Good question. We don't like to complicate things. However, just as you come to understand, even if it is for humor or tongue-in-cheek to you, that is what was said earlier, 100 Mary Magdalens, all of the same essence, of the same archetype, of the same fullness of a being, all participating as rays and expressions of that. So your twin might have more than one expression. What also is possible is that for some, a twin is so in denial of the expression of the twinness that, and rather than a deepening of their oneness with themselves or anyone, there's an aspect of their self that leaves the body. You hear of the idea of walk-ins? Most of the time a walk-in isn't a complete vacating of one entity for another entity. Most of the time it happens much more frequently in this way that a soul expands to have more and more walking into its presence. And very rarely, but occasionally, an aspect will vacate in order to, like somebody would disassociate in their work, in their mind here. It's a spiritual disassociation. That aspect would go, and maybe someday they'll have a retrieval, as some like to call that, and find themselves again more whole. It can get very complicated to try to hold how this all works together. So, most often, what would occur if there's more than one is that not necessarily more than one for you, but more than one for another part of you, and another part, you understand? So if you have multiple selves, living, say, simultaneous life expressions or alternate life expressions, then there would be a twin aspect for that. Some are twinned with a presence that is perceived of as already ascended or already in a high angelic state. That has its own difficulties. To always feel that you will never meet that face to face in this way. When one is awakened and recognizes that these little bits of awareness that, oh, I am one with this being who is not present to earth. When am I going to leave earth to get present with that soul, or when will that soul come manifest here? And the goal isn't to have physical union, but the goal is to recognize, to have the oneness and to merge into that oneness when you can, as you can. So for example, then for that one who is here and has conscious connection with that other aspect of their own being, that they would have meditation and prayerful states of feeling the energies come with them, merge with them while they are here, to assist their own quickening. If you have a manifest twin flame, doesn't mean that one of you is always appearing to be in the same place in your consciousness. You are always reflecting that, but sometimes the experience is one moves a few steps, the other moves a few steps, one moves a few steps, the other one moves a few steps. There is but that's supportive for one another in your human experience, to know that you can always have assurance that you are empowered, autonomous, and whole, with or without that expression between you. To be with your twin, when it is your life purpose to come here in order that you re-merge and become conscious with one another and be in a supportive ascension process. Thus also, the point of that being part of the work on the planet to give a particular unified healing of that duality. You don't have to look alike. Some people think, oh, they must be twin souls because they look alike. Or how can they be twin souls? They look like, you know, Frick and Frack. That's just another way to get confused by the illusions of the So it's not about, to prove your twin is you have all the features are the same in your body, or that you have identicalness in your thoughts. Always. There are times when it is most important for you. There are times when it is most important for you to have a relationship which is less challenging and fully gets you through a part of your life. That you can glide through on one level because you're just working through other things. Maybe more mundane things. For some it could be, you raise a family and they're beautiful spirits, there's nothing about anything wrong with a relationship, but it's then that you graduate in terms of the needs you have as a soul to meet with a twin, and now your journey has a whole new adventure. It can be that you have playmate after playmate after playmate because that's the path you're on that gets you to cope with life. Usually for everyone who has many playmates, there's a loneliness inside for something more deep and intimate and lasting and meaningful. And that loneliness can lead them to self-awareness enough to let go of that kind of game. And when they are ready, then they meet the kind of partnership that encourages the greatest step and the greatest step. So if you are with someone and you have a deep, intimate, and conscious and loving relationship, and that is not your twin, do not think it is wrong. And do not think, oh, how was this? How long was this last? Maybe I have to be with my twin in 5 years. And I go, no. Not about that. And truly, some twins, conscious and awake, are not uniting one another in sexual, energetic ways at all. That they unite still in a fraternal way, very free of that other aspect. There are some, because truly that almost is the most difficult part of twins, is how to have a merging without being at the lowest level of your chakras, or to have none at all because you have an expectation of an ideal of merging to be part of something normal in your life. There is no one way it works.